October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we're giving cancer the boot. Let Not Only Tees customize your coins, tumblers and mugs, shirts and apparel, books, diaries, keychains, you name it. Visit the website to place your custom order today. Simple process and quality work. Not Only Tees, honoring breast cancer awareness and survival.
Welcome to another episode of Community Conversations with Tyrone Darden. We're going to jump right into it. Our guest, Oletha Johnson. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Oletha Johnson, formerly Oletha Vicks.
Mm-hmm.
I am the founder and owner of the Heart of Art International School, which is right here in San Antonio, Texas. And I have been in the education field for at least about 20 years now. And I'm glad and excited to open our first micro school here in San Antonio.
Great. So we're going to start our first part of the segment with top of mind. And so I'm going to give our guest a phrase, a word, and she's going to give us just her first response, top of mind. Today our focus is education. And so when you hear school choice, tell me what's top of mind.
Freedom.
Freedom. Expound on that a little bit. I wasn't expecting that response.
All right. Well, I think when you have school of choice, you have the freedom to see the knowledge of your child, to see the benefits of a school, as well as to understand if this is a good fit for my child. And if it is, then I had a freedom to move them there. Or if I don't like the school and it's not a good fit, then I had a freedom to move them somewhere else. So I feel like it gives parents an option to not only know their child, but know what they're learning as well.
Freedom. I have some other words in mind. Equity.
Yes.
Talking about traditional versus private and even charter schools. But I like freedom. I think freedom really resonates with where we are today and where we're trying to be. So just focusing really on education and the conversation. Recently here in Texas, we've passed what's called the Education Savings Account, also termed as vouchers. Do you have any knowledge of those things?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I just went to a summit at the end of last month for private schools and micro schools to find out more about what the government is actually doing towards it. Right now, they're just collecting data. Okay. And they weren't able to give us any solid facts, but what they did tell us is that there will be vouchers for schools that have 2 years in fully opening, and they will start at a minimum of $10,000 per student. And for micro schools like myself, if I wanted that $10,000, then I need to be accredited and I need to be open for 2 years. Since this is my first year, I would not be able to apply for those vouchers. But after our next full year, then I will be able to, and I'll be accredited by the end of this year.
And that goes back to freedom. It sounds like that you are leveraging your freedom to be a provider in education. And I think that's a great thing. I want to know a little bit more about your opportunity in regards to micro school. I'm familiar with traditional ISDs, public charters, and even private schools. Kind of explain to me what a micro school is.
Well, on the East Coast, it is very well known. Okay. It is slowly coming west. They have opened quite a few in Arizona as well. But to describe what a micro school is, to sum it up, it's a modern day one house school. Okay. And so what we do is we gather all our students and we make sure that we don't have a classroom bigger than 12 students. Okay. And we personalize each one of their curriculums to them. So a lot of homeschool parents will do very well with sending their child to a micro school because it's a close connection so they can be able to socialize, get a community, and still get that personalized learning that they get when they're at home. But it also is like a private school. I call it a mini private school because they are there learning on a curriculum that most private schools have. Like mine, we have a Becca curriculum, which is a Christian curriculum that I love. And a lot of private schools use that curriculum. But we'll also be tailoring it to that student and incorporating art integration in it as well, so that they'll be getting art factors as well as Christian-based to learn who their gifts are.
Okay. In your journey in starting your school, let's talk about some of the praises you've gotten, but also some of the pushback, if you've gotten any.
Yes, the praises is everybody's like, I've never seen this before. I really would love my child to do this. My kid is is always painting and full of energy. I think this will be great because they're not in a big classroom. But the pushback that I've gotten is that people are afraid to pay. And people are afraid to try something new. And I get it. New and change is hard. So I just make sure that I reassure parents, letting them know that I've been in education, whether it was private, public, or charter, for these past 20 years. I've been studying and researching. I also have a master's in counseling, so I do focus in on their social needs as well, not just academics and pushing them to pass a test. I want to know the whole child. So that's where I kind of get them to pull back from that pushback of not being able to want to pay or being afraid of something new.
Do you see yourself as your school as a competitor to traditional public schools or even charters? Or let me just ask the question, how do you see yourself?
I see myself as something for students that are artsy, because we are an art-focused school. And I see myself as something that is integrating the Christian values as well as academics for the children. When I was teaching private school, it was very, what's the word I want to see here? It was eye-opening to see how they incorporated their Christian and Catholic values into the academics. So I don't see myself as a competitor to anyone. I see myself as an avenue to give kids another option to be able to learn.
Often, and thank you for that, often we hear separation of church and state. And we've also heard in this path of this journey of getting to vouchers, the education savings account, that public shouldn't fund private schools. What would be your response to that? To both those things, the separation of church and state, and that public funds shouldn't fund private education?
I would say that is a myth. Because from going to the summit that I went to, the public schools already have their allocated funds. And the vouchers, or what we say ESA, is a whole nother voucher of funding, and that has been set aside for the students. We have, it is, I want to give you the exact number. I want to say that they said it's about $1 billion that they have already allocated. And once that's set aside, that's not going to be touched by public schools, by charter schools. It's only going to be for private schools, micro schools, and home schools. So saying that they're taking from public schools, that's not true, because public schools already have their funding, and now they have just allocated funding for these other schools as well. And then also to talk about church and state, I've always believed that church should be in our schools. When I was in public school, because I grew up public school from elementary all the way to high school, I had a prayer group that I met with every day. I was part of FCA, which is Fellowship Christian Athletes.
Coach Clack?
Yes, exactly. So I never saw that my Christianity could not be at schools. And I also met people that weren't Christians that went to school with me, but there was no, what's the word, disconnect between them and myself. We were all just there learning and respecting one another's values.
In continuing this conversation, what do you think is the highest level message that you could send to the TAN TV audience on school choice?
I would say school choice is the new wave of education, and that we need to embrace it and understand that it is not something that's going to hinder us, but equip us to be better, as well as to educate us and to bring us out of poverty, as well as to enrich us knowledgeable, sociable, as well as a community. That's what I would say.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Johnson, just for sharing your views on school choice. We're going to continue this conversation, and I want everybody to understand freedom is what we make of it. And so it looks like that you have leveraged your freedom into the education space, and I look forward to learning more and hearing more about your school.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Most people aren't concerned about hair loss until it affects them or someone they know. But we care.
Hi, I'm Kayla Martell. If you're a woman with hair loss or thinning hair, like me, please listen carefully if hair loss is a common problem for many women who don't know where to turn for viable solutions. Until now. To learn more about the newest professional solutions for your hair loss. It will change your life.
Contact the professionals of Trinity Lace Wigs, changing lives one head at